point. Let me continue. All right, so let me continue. We have so much evidence that we communicate with a higher power all the time. All right, so let's go over some of the evidence. Okay, the first piece of evidence is near-death experiences, NDEs. Near-death experiences are when you almost die, okay, or you're dead for like 10 seconds or 10 minutes, who knows. But there are thousands, tens of thousands of these testimonies on YouTube, and they all say the same thing. When they die, they see a tunnel, and at the tunnel, there's a light that draws them. Okay, they go, and then suddenly they are high up, and they feel tremendous love, peace, forgiveness, compassion. It's all good. And then they submit to a life review. They have a chance to reflect on their entire life. They can see all the pain they caused. They can see all the good they've done in the world. And then they're asked by a higher force, and it's like God or an angel, but like there are different interpretations, okay? Do you want to go back? And they always say, yes, I need to go back. Why? Because I need to tell people about my experience. And they come back extremely changed people. And again, these are people who don't know each other. And maybe before they were atheists or just scientists. But once they have these experiences, it changes them forever, okay? So near-death experiences. We have problems explaining why this is the case. Second is the idea of psychedelics. Okay. Okay, psychedelics. So throughout human history, every culture has used psychedelics because psychedelics were a way for shamans or priests to access the divine. And what's really interesting is when you use a certain type of psychedelic, you end up seeing the same images regardless of who you are. Okay? And that's why civilizations throughout human history, what's amazing is if you go back to the ancient past and you look at different civilizations in different parts of the world, they have very similar statues and paintings, okay? So what's a very common motif is the idea of the cosmic serpent. For whatever reason, every early civilization has worshipped a serpent or serpent. The serpent is a very important part of their culture. And it's possible that when they're on psychedelics and they're meditating, they see a serpent talking to them. And they see that as the serpent of life, okay? And also, what's really interesting is the serpent, it looks like the DNA. Right? Okay, so that's really, really interesting. Okay? Meditation. When people meditate, when you go up to a higher dimension, you end up having the same experience as psychedelics and near-death experiences. Also, great books. I myself have never done psychedelics. I obviously can't go back in the past and study these civilizations. I never had a near-death experiences, but I've read Dante, I've read Milton, I've read Homer, I've studied them very, very closely. And what's amazing to me is they say the same things. When Dante, in his Divine Comedy, when he describes the universe, when he describes God, when he describes the heavens, it's almost as though he's describing a near-death experience. Even though we have absolutely no evidence that Dante himself had near-death experiences. Okay? So this is shocking. Okay, so there's a lot of evidence that there's a higher force beyond us. So the spirit world does exist. Again, I can't prove it exists, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest it does exist.